Alright, given a choice, which doctor would you want to heal you? Our own doctors or modern medicine doctors? Traditional healers and modern doctors do not understand each other because they learn different things. Without a shadow of doubt, it is very clear that a lot would say yes to modern medicine and recommend it as great. That cannot be doubted. Like many words in the English language, medicine is derived from a Latin word medicina, which means the art of healing. Question that we need to deal with in terms of modern medicine and your choice: is it true or correct or the right selection to think that Europe is the origin of modern medicine? If yes, can you prove it? If no, who was healing the millions of people prior to medicina? Let's think about this and look at the symbols that are used in medicine. We have been told that that is the rod of Asclepius, now incorporated by the World Health Organization, that is fighting to control medicine all over the earth. Is this the true pointer to Europe via the Greeks as the real masters of healing? Billions will never know the truth, and the billions will think yes, it is like that. But we know that history has taught us that the living medicine, the truth about it, described in our ancient files and books and sculptures and teachings. It is very clear when you go into the temple of Seti I in Abydos in Hamit in Africa that Yahute, the scribe of the divinities, the scribe of the gods and the patron of learning, has been shown to give life in the form of the Ankh to Seti, the king. And in his left hand he holds two scepters, around which is curled in 7 times 2 snakes, and the crowns of Upper and Lower Africa. This is known as the caduceus. The two symbolizes your physical body as well as your soul. So modern medicine lacks the spirit, does not think or know anything about the soul. This is why one great Nobel laureate, Dr. Alexis Carrel, says there is no science of man today. We use the inanimate sciences of physics and the chemistry in an animate conscious human being. Because the choice for you to go to modern medicine versus our own natural medicine does not come from your brain. It comes from the programming and the process of how the Rockefeller system or Rockefeller family killed natural medicine. This is very, very important. Which doctors have lost their knowledge? It is those doctors that do not understand wellness, those doctors that do not deal with your emotions, with your physical body, with your other issues like financial, intellectual, occupational, environmental, or social, or spiritual. Those are the doctors that have lost it, but those are the doctors that are popular today. Despite the hype in history that medical practice is of Greek origin, we have already proved that ancient Africa, a civilization that dates back into the billions of years, up to almost 30 BCE, was the center of healing. They tell you that healing and medicine originated by the Greeks. So which healers actually treat a patient? It is very clear. We have already indicated that it is only from ancient African civilization that we can learn of those healers. But it is very clear that the men of ancient Hamit are described as brown or black with a skinny, desiccated look. This is in Amnias Marcellinus, and this is also corroborated by them in the Stela of Yebu, where the people of ancient Hamit describe themselves as coming from the lands that are found in the southern part of Africa, not Middle East, as the liars want to tell you. Therefore, this area, southern part of Africa, is where we get healing and the art of healing, true healing. Because even Count de Ivone in 1787, after seeing the Sphinx in Hamit in Africa, he said, just think that this race of black men, today our slave, and the object of our scorn, is the very race to which we owe our arts, our sciences, and even the use of speech. So when we ask which doctors have lost their knowledge, since the ancient Hamitians or Egyptians testify that they came from the southern parts of Africa, it is very clear that those that deny that knowledge are the doctors that have lost that knowledge. So we see the pretenders and coming up and claiming that they are the Imhotep. They're stealing Imhotep as their own. But Imhotep looked like this. Imhotep looked like this, and his mother was known as Kareluorangu. Kareluorangu. That was the name she was called. So which doctor or which doctor? We know the liars that are using Hollywood and all the tricks of the smoke screen. Who do you think this is the doctor that would come up with this and work with Pharaoh and King Rose? Who do you think so? No, it's impossible. This is the man who looks like a melanin dominant human being. So Imhotep was not the only surgeon, because there is a lot of history where he came from, the southern part of Egypt, where they practiced the original natural spirit connected healing, not mechanical or electronic or so-called DNA. It is very clear that there is an African kingdom, a place in Africa, where they performed wonders, including caesarean operation, pulling out babies from their womb. These were highly experienced surgeons from the Bunyoro Kitara kingdom who carried out these advanced caesarean operations. A traveler, Felkin, reported as follows. He said that a 20-year-old woman carrying her first pregnancy lay on an inclined bed. They had already known that this baby is a bridge, she will not come out properly. And she was supplied with banana wine and was in a semi-intoxicated state. She was perfectly naked, and they proceeded to do the job of pulling out the baby. This occurred during the reign of Umkama Kabalega Shwa, who during that time fought the British for 9 years, wrestled kingdoms from him. During his reign, there was the discovery of the cure for sleeping sickness, and his people used to be immunized against endemic syphilis. This is the knowledge, the natural knowledge that was known and that operated in that time. There, again, this practice was commonplace for the medicine men of Bunyoro Kitara kingdom. They mastered it long before there was any contact with Europeans, as well as explorers, adventurers, missionaries, and plunderers from other parts of the world. Very, very clear. This image is 1879, caesarean delivery in Uganda. So it is very clear, because the knowledge system that was there by the people, even up to Kemet and Mohenjo-Daro, the people of ancient Kemet consider the Great Lakes region of southeastern Africa to be a sacred holy land. This included the Kuru land, Southeast Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Congo, Rwanda, South Africa, Malawi, Burundi, and Zimbabwe. The Lugbara of Uganda did brain surgery for many centuries. It is in Uganda also where this caesarean section we have shown occurred. It is said that the medical knowledge in Uganda must have come from the multi-geniuses whom we discover in Hamit, but we know that they had their own indigenous knowledge that traveled up the Nile. So the traditional brain surgery, specifically trepanation of the cranium, relieving cranium pressure, is the oldest evidence of brain surgery. The Busoga tribe of Uganda and the Kiki tribe of Kenya carried out this surgery up until when it was documented in the early 1980s. And we're showing here very, very clear. We want to say this video, you can go to this website and watch a lot of this stuff. Brain surgery which was performed in ancient Africa. Wonderful Lugbara of Uganda, African medicine. This is exactly what we know happened in Africa before the missionaries, before Europe, before anyone. We had brain surgeons, neurosurgeons, specialists. They can be called witch doctors, but they are doctors. They healed people. And you find that at the end of the day, if we were not disturbed by colonization and enslavement, we could have improved on this, because this technology, this knowledge, this wisdom came from ancient times where nature and the natural healing was allowed to take place. But today we are told that this is primitive. But look, this person, it's fantastic, it's great knowledge. This happened in Uganda and Africa. And there are people that you see who were healed. There's also caesarean operations where people were healed. That's an expert. This is the expert. And they're drinking from the same pot, drinking beer, and they giving themselves enough energy and courage. And we want to thank this website we're showing here for this video. And you can visit it. We'll also show in the description. Look at that, neuroscience in ancient Africa. And there are people that are well and healthy. So awesome. The experts, Omobari or Motwe, who do pray, who do apply their knowledge, who do use tools, and after operation, there was never any infection on the cases that the Obaris operated. This was written by Funas in 1985. Funas stated that the Omobari's work was neat and orderly when engaged during their line of duty. You can see that. Very, very clean. Ancient Hamit recorded a lot of information about the brain. Zia is the name for the brain. And it is this ta, ta, and pap. The cerebrospinal fluid. Kati is the body. The ka is the spirit, and the ba is the soul. All these are generally called the soul. Munu, emweya, umoya, womuntu, umphefumulo, bupenyu. That's what we call soul. This was already documented before Europe ever knew about it. Which doctors have lost their knowledge? I think the evidence is very, very clear. In short, the diligent work of the Rockefeller and Carnegie was a smashing success. They crushed the underfunded grassroots healing system, medical system, and established the current medical system where Big Pharma makes large donations to medical schools in exchange for teaching the medical students to use their patented drugs. As part of this system, many alternative treatments are criminalized. For example, by law, you cannot treat cancer with any modality except chemotherapy, surgery, or radiation. It is actually a criminal felony for a medical practitioner to treat cancer with anything but by these three modalities. Why is this the case? Follow the money, and you will find that true healing, which is magical spiritual, has vanished from the earth, has vanished from official lines, because the Rockefeller founded modern medicine, killed natural cures, and monopolized the healing. And their healing is not a correct form of healing, because they do not supply the soul food, they do not supply the mind and wisdom food. That's why they have got what is called die, and then they prescribe other chemicals, where less healing is magical, spiritual. Yes, modern medicine has its role today in our health, but it must not be the boss, since it is managed by witch doctors, because they ignore the fact that nature is so smart, it put the medicine inside the food that we eat. Now, let's go back and conclude by saying a number of factors here. Nobel laureate Dr. Alexis Carrel hit it very, very clearly. He said, there is no science of men today. We use the inanimate sciences of physics and chemistry in an animate, conscious human being. Only our indigenous healing system knows that you are a soul, you are a spirit, and you need to be cured by using natural means because nature is so smart. To learn more about this, you need to go and find the Flexner report and its impact on modern medicine. Also, you can subscribe to our channel and share and comment. Send us an email or join@marfato.com. Your Hama Nature to P Priest Teacher Rabbi LM Tumizun Kunikarim Jakazam saying nature is so smart. Do not go to the witch doctor. Amen.